Hi, my name is Cynthia Morales, and I am the ERSEA Manager for Brightpoint Early Childhood Services. Today, I want to talk to you a little bit about ERSEA. ERSEA stands for Eligibility, Recruitment, Selection, Enrollment, and Attendance. Understanding ERSEA. The first letter in ERSEA is E, which stands for eligibility. A child or pregnant woman who meets the requirements for age and family income or are categorically eligible. Next is the R for recruitment, the systematic way in which we identify families whose children are eligible for Head Start services, informs them of the services available, and encourages them to apply for enrollment in the program. Everyone is responsible for recruiting to aid in the growth of a robust waitlist. Next, we have S for selection, the systematic process used to review all intakes for Head Start services and to identify those children and families with the greatest needs to be enrolled in the program. Next is E for enrollment. A child or a pregnant woman who has been accepted and attended at least one class for center-based or at least one home visit for home-based option. Attendance. The child is attending and receiving services. To ensure that enrolled children take advantage of services and are safe when they do not arrive at school, the program keeps track of absenteeism. Regular attendance has a direct impact on school readiness and future school success. Head Start programs provide comprehensive developmental services for low-income families. Services are children ages birth through 5. Head Start offers social services for children, education, social emotional development, physical and mental health, and nutrition. Head Start promotes school readiness. Eligibility is the first step and a key component in implementing ERSEA services and a family's admittance to those services. ERSEA is one of the 14 Head Start management systems, and it supports our program's goal of reaching and maintaining full enrollment. Eligibility determination is important to ensure Head Start is receiving the children and families intended to receive the services. Head Start requires eligibility training for the governing body and policy council within 180 days of the beginning of the term of a new governing body or policy council. Today, we're going to cover eligibility. We're going to go through the eligibility overview, which is the eligibility determination based on income, which would include the relevant time period, previous 12 months, or significant change of income. We're going to discuss documentation that is used to determine eligibility. 3, methods on how to collect complete and accurate eligibility information from families and third-party sources. 4, policies and procedures that describe actions taken against staff, families, or participants who intentionally attempt to provide false information. How do we determine eligibility? Eligibility is determined by conducting an in-person interview with the family. You gather information and you verify information. 3, we determine eligibility based on age. Is the child an early Head Start child, age 0 to 3, or is this a Head Start child, age 3 to 5? 4, we determine eligibility based on income. Is the family categorically eligible? Do they receive public assistance? Are they homeless or are they a foster child? And then we determine eligibility based on income. Does the family fall below the federal poverty guidelines? Is the family a level 2, which means the family is between 100 and 130 of the federal poverty guidelines? Or is the family a level 3, which is over income? FSS staff conduct an in-person interview and they gather information and verify the information provided. So it is best practice to complete in-person interviews with all families throughout Brightpoint Early Childhood Services. Phone interviews or virtual are accepted, but must be documented and approved by FSS supervisor and manager of parent and family services and or the ERSEA manager. FSS staff set the stage and they usually are prepared to meet and greet the family. They prepare parents for the enrollment process, they outline documents needed, explain the process, answer questions, and they set the tone. And we are always very respectful of our parents and their privacy. FSS staff gather documents in order for them to have a complete intake packet. Those documents include the Head Start eligibility verification, known as the HSEV, the selection criteria, the Head Start or Child Plus application, and the verification form. What determines eligibility? We determine eligibility based on the age of where the child is or the program the child will be enrolling in, income, and whether or not they are categorically eligible. So, verifying age, program staff must verify a child's age according to program policies and procedures. So, a program's policy and procedure cannot require families to provide documents that confirm a child's age if doing so creates a barrier for the family to enroll the child. Is the child an early Head Start child, birth through under 3? It's the child a Head Start child, ages 3 to under 5, and the age is based on what age the child is as of September 1st of every year, and that is the school district cutoff date. Then we verify income. So verifying eligibility. To verify eligibility based on income, program staff must use tax forms, pay stubs, or other proof of income to determine the family income for the relevant time period. Relevant time period means the 12 months preceding the month in which the application is submitted, or B, during the calendar year preceding the calendar year in which the application is submitted, whichever more accurately reflects the needs of the family at the time of the application. Significant change in income. If the family can demonstrate a significant change in income for the relevant time period, program staff may consider current income circumstances. Verifying age. Program staff must verify a child's age according to program policies and procedures. So, a program's policy and procedures cannot require families to provide documents that confirm a child's age if doing so creates a barrier for the family to enroll the child. So, what documents can staff use as proof of age? The birth certificate. If parents don't have a current birth certificate and the child may be a newborn a couple months, we can use the footprints that's provided at the time of the child's birth that has the information, making sure the information is filled out. The medical card, if the medical card has the child's name and date of birth. School physical, if the school physical or the medical documents have the child's name and date of birth, or any government issued document. A birth certificate is the required document needed. So if a family does not have a birth certificate at the time of enrollment, any proof of birth will suffice. The agency and our staff will be assisting the family with obtaining a birth certificate within 30 days upon enrollment. Eligibility duration. So for early Head Start, which is 0 to 3, and pregnant participants for our home-based programs, it's determined once at the time of enrollment, and it is good for the entire time the family or the child is enrolled in early Head Start. There is no need to redetermine. The next time we redetermine eligibility is when the child is transitioning from our early Head Start program to a Head Start. So then eligibility has to be redetermined for Head Start. Head Start 3 to 5. So they are eligible for the first program year and the following program year. Note, this is program year, not calendar year. Third year returners must have eligibility redetermined. Documents used to determine eligibility. So we would typically ask the parents for a W-2 or a tax 40 if they are employed, but we can also use pay stubs and staff verification statements, including no income or calculated income. What counts as income? So income from wages or salaries, Social Security payments, child support, unemployment, self-employment, interest, dividends, private/government pensions. What does not count as income would be tax refunds, injury settlements, CARES Act for unemployment, gifts from family or friends, a child's income, or any COVID relief funds. Calculating income using previous 12 months. So as I mentioned before, we always ask for a W-2 or a 1040. If the family does not have a W-2 or a 1040, staff must verify previous 12 months of income if they are unable to obtain the above documents. So an example would be if Ms. Jones has been working at McDonald's for 3 months, she comes to enroll her 3-year-old daughter in Head Start. What questions do we need to ask to figure out previous 12 months of income? The first question would be, when did you start working at McDonald's, and did you have any pay stubs? If the mom does not have any pay stubs, or the parent does not have any pay stubs, we still need to verify income. So then we would ask how much she gets paid an hour, and how many hours do the parent works. We would also ask about what other jobs or income sources did they have in the past 12 months. Is there any child support payments? Is there any unemployment payments that they might be receiving? Remember to verify all sources of income over the previous 12 months. Calculating zero income. Staff verification statement. FSS staff need to indicate how the family pays for housing, food, clothing, or any medical and or basic needs. Staff will write notes indicating steps taken to verify the information provided, and the goal is to remove all of the obstacles. Determining when there is a significant change of income. If the family can demonstrate a significant change in income for the relevant time period, program staff may consider current income circumstances. So, an example of a significant change of income would be a change that would put the family in a different eligibility category. Possibly losing a job and having challenges finding a new one. When there has been a significant change in income and current income situation is used to determine eligibility. The interviewer must write notes explaining the reason. Documents used to determine eligibility. So for those families that are categorically eligible, they are considered eligible regardless of income. There is no need to gather additional family income and count if anyone in the family size is receiving any type of public assistance, which would be SNAP. So we would require a SNAP award benefit letter, or we can do recent screenshots of benefits on the app. TANF, so we would need the TANF benefit award letter. A RES, which is a resident assessment support plan, does not guarantee the family receives TANF cash, so we have to look closely at that documentation, or an SSI, which is supplemental security income document. If we are determined the family is eligible based on homelessness, we would then look at if economic hardship such as an accident or illness, loss of employment, loss of public benefits, or condition of poverty forces families to share housing temporarily, the children are eligible for the McKinney rental services. So always thinking about whether it's a force or a choice. So if a long-term cooperative living arrangement among family members or friends that is fixed, regular, and adequate should not be considered a homeless situation, even if the parties are living together to save money. So then we have more information. There's a link here supporting children and families experiencing homeless for early childhood professionals. We would also want a written statement, a document from the shelter if the parents are staying in a homeless shelter or transitional housing, homeless service provider, school, or other agency. We will need a third-party consent and verification and notes from the application and eligibility interview between the family and the staff. Foster care. So a child must be a ward of the state. Enrolled foster child is a family size of one. So foster care means 24-hour substitute care for children placed away from their parents or guardians and for whom the state agency has placement and care responsibility. This includes, but is not limited to, placements in foster family homes, foster homes of relatives, group homes, emergency shelters, residential facilities, childcare institutions, and pre-adoptive homes. A child is in foster care in accordance with this definition, regardless of whether the foster care facility is licensed, and payments are made by the state or local agency for the care of the child, whether adoption subsidy payments are being made prior to the finalization of an adoption, or whether there is federal matching of any payments that are made. So we would require, if the child is in a foster child, the Illinois placement form, which is the CFS 906. We would also ask for, if they don't have the CFS 906, a court order, any other legal or government issued document, or a written statement from the government child welfare official. So now let's look at some documentations used that are acceptable and that we can use to count as income. So first we have the notice of decision, which is here. This is typically what the SNAP letter, benefit letter would look like, and it would also let us know if the family has any medical benefits here. If a family goes into a DHS office that day of, usually they'll print up a proof of receipt of program benefits. And once again, we're looking to make sure that the family's name is here, and also to check whether there is a SNAP amount or whether it says yes or no on here. If the family is using the app for EBT, then we would use a screenshot, one where it has the benefit amount, and then another one where it has the mom's name or email address. This is a benefit verification letter for the SSI. We just want to make sure that at the bottom it states, if they are entitled to monthly benefits and then what the benefit amount is. This is the CFS Placement Payment Authorization Form, CFS 906. This is typically what a child welfare agency will provide us, which has the child's information and as well as the foster parent or guardian's info. If we are using income to determine a family's eligibility, we would ask for the W-2, and staff will look at box 3, which is Social Security wages. The other document text form we can use is the 1040, and staff would use line 11 to determine the where the family's eligibility level is, and or we can use pay stubs, but we will look at the gross pay. Determining family household size. So for Head Start Performance Standards, definition of family means a family for a child means all persons living in the same household who are, 1, supported by the child's parents or guardians' income, and 2, related to the child's parents or guardians by blood, marriage, or adoption, or 3, the child's authorized caregiver or legally responsible party. If staff violate eligibility determination, there are policies and procedures in place. And so when an employee intentionally violates federal and program eligibility determination regulations and provides or attempts to provide false information when determining eligibility for pregnant women, children, or families, the agency will take disciplinary action up to and including termination. We take eligibility very seriously for our early childhood services, and staff are always trying their best to identify the best way to have parents become part of our services. As I mentioned before, we serve categorically eligible families. We also have space capacity for level 2 families, which are those families that fall between 100 and 130. And then we have capacity to service families who are over income. So there should never be a reason why staff are intentionally violating eligibility determination. That is it. Thank you all for taking the time to view the video. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. My name is Cynthia Morales, and I am the ERSEA manager for Bright Point Early Childhood Services. Thank you.